Get the cat, huh? Hey, where they at? Get the cat. Oh, we need nobody else. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? Sorry for the fucking wait. Sorry for the delay, but I'm back. I'm ready with the fourth installment of the rundown. Let's go ahead and get into it. I gotta go ahead and apologize ahead of time. I had some notes and stuff that I wanted to kind of touch on, but it's glitching a little bit there. So we just gonna kind of do it freestyle. We're gonna freehand it here. But before we get into it, please hit the like button, tap 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 that like button, subscribe to the channel, share as well, let your friends know. Let's go, let's kick it, and let's get into it. So I want to start with the NBA playoffs. I know some people out there that's going to be watching this video don't give a fuck about the NBA playoffs, but I just want to start with the NBA playoffs because without my notes and stuff, that's probably where I'm most comfortable at. So, the NBA playoffs, we got a NBA Finals berth right now with the Boston Celtics. Shout out to JT, shout out to JB. They booked their ticket to the NBA Finals first, defeating the Indiana Pacers in 4 games last night. We have Minnesota and Dallas tonight. Dallas is up 3-0. I want to start with the Dallas series. Luka has been the best player on the floor so far in this series. Anthony Edwards has written a check that his ass can't cash, and it is sad to watch. Granted, he is 22 years old, but that doesn't mean anything to me. Um, I felt like Anthony Edwards was signing a check that he couldn't cash just throughout the playoffs. I mean, he's done a lot of barking. It's made good for entertainment. He's one of the most entertaining players in the league today. So shout out to Ant Man for that. And I mean, the way they did Denver, I mean, it's been a good run for him, but I felt like they peaked at the Western Conference Finals. I never had them going to the finals. Anybody that had them going to the finals is delusional, and they don't know how the pecking order of shit works. You got to bump your. And I know Kat and Ant had that interview talking about how many more years y'all want us to lose. We've been losing for years. Uh, it's just not y'all's time yet. You can just tell it's just not y'all's time yet. Y'all's gonna need a different iteration of this team for y'all to really get over the hump. The whole big thing with him and Cat and Rudy Gobert. I'm not a fan of Gobert. I know a lot of people. He's getting a lot of flack because Luca took his ankles and took his soul. In game 2, what's that game 2? Game 2. Luca got the switch on him with a few seconds to go on the clock, about 11 seconds to go, and Luca isoed and saved the last dance, man. It was Save the Last Dance, man. It was just him and Gobert on that dance floor, and he two-stepped all over Gobert. So, and then game 3, Kyrie came through the clutch again, and that's where I've had Dallas going to the finals for a pretty long time here. And for years, I've wanted to see Dallas versus the Celtics, but Dallas has to get it done tonight. It's a closeout game. They're up 3-0. They're in Dallas. Patrick Mahomes will be there. Hopefully, Travis Kelce will be there, and the whole crew will be there. And Dallas books their ticket to the NBA Finals. And I think the final starts next Thursday. So we could be potentially seeing a Boston and Dallas series. On Boston's side, um, everybody knows it's no secret. They've had a real easy path to the finals. A lot of injuries that they've their opponents have dealt with. They've had in the first series it was Miami, no Butler, no Rozier. Second series, Mitchell went out, Jarrett Allen went out, Levert was nursing an injury, Turner was Mobley was nursing an injury, and so wasn't Garland. So, and then the Pacers, they lost freaking Halliburton. I always get his name mixed up with halitosis. Don't ask me why, but Halliburton went out. So Celtics did what they needed to do. So that's all I got to say. That's the importance of getting the number 1 seed. And they've also faced injuries themselves with no Kristaps Porzingis all playoffs. And I think one of their other rotational players was hurt. So shout out to the Seeds. They got it done. 64. I think they were 64-18 this year. Number 1 seed in the whole league. So they got home court throughout. NBA Finals does start next Thursday, so we're potentially going to get a Dallas and Celtics series as I predicted. I will go ahead and say on this episode, I got the Celtics winning that in 6. However, the caveat that I'll throw in there is the games will not bode well for the Celtics if they are close. I know this isn't some hot take. This isn't this particular part of my channel isn't an NBA breakdown or anything like that. Although I am a big NBA fan and stuff, I'm leaving my takes pretty general right now. I could get into the details on why I feel like that, but like I said, it's not really a hot take that I think the two best closers are on the Mavericks, and that is Kyrie Irving, who I think is the clutchest player in the league, and then you got Luka Doncic. So and Tatum and Brown, they showed up in the other series, and there was a lot of close games. But I just don't. I still don't necessarily trust them when the game is really on the line and things aren't going necessarily their way. They'll have to prove it to me. I got the Celtics winning in 6. I just feel like it's their time. This is their second time in the finals in 3 years. I'm a storyline kind of guy. I can see them getting over the hump finally. I think Luca and them getting to the finals is them peaking. The Celtics have more to lose. They cannot afford to lose another finals. If they do, the JBJT experiment, man, oh man, oh man, they're gonna have to look at that. So that's my little brief touch that I want to give on the NBA playoffs. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. I made a status feed. I told y'all it was gonna be Celtics and Mavs. People didn't want to listen to me. People didn't want to listen to me. I don't know why y'all thought it was gonna be the Wolves, and I don't think nobody on planet Earth except Freddie Gibbs and Janet Jackson and them, some of the Jacksons thought Indian and Reggie Miller thought the Pacers was going to be the Celtics. That's just pure delusion. I mean, David Stern would be rolling over in his grave. In fact, he would climb out of his grave to make sure that the fucking Pacers did not see the NBA Finals. That would just be horrible for this league. So, man, shit, we got more drama in the hip hop world, guys. More drama. I haven't shot a video in a couple weeks, so I'm a little bit behind here on the news cycle. But you know, we got BBL Drizzy with BBL Kyle Lowry. They somewhere up in the 6, Toronto, trying to come up with a WNBA team. I just think that's a horrible look. I don't know why Drake is even teaming up with Kyle Lowry's big ass at this point. Everybody in the country is calling you BBL Drizzy, and you go sit next to the nigga that everybody, y'all know what I'm saying. Check that out for yourself. But Kyle Lowry staying loyal. You know, he's from Philly, but you know, he played in Toronto for all these years, so he's staying loyal with Drizzy. And they trying to sponsor this WNBA team that's coming to Toronto's apparently. I think it's just the irony in all this is crazy. And speaking of BBL Drizzy, he hops on the BBL beat, the BBL Drizzy beat by Metro and raps over it. Song is fucking trash. You know, newsflash, song is trash. I think honestly, I think it's a Drake had a he owed Sexy Red a feature because Sexy Red he did a cameo for Sexy Red. They got something going on. I've been telling y'all they got something going on, some industry shit going on, deal for deal, fuck for fuck, suck for suck. I don't know what they got going on. I think she's a sex worker. Um, they got something going on, but he obviously owed her a feature. I think it was a feature that he had completed a while ago or something. But with this beef, he was like, hold on, let me swap this out. Let me do another feature that's more up to date, more current. Because at this time, he couldn't have come out and just gave her a 2 month old verse on her out or her little mixtape that she got. But so I think he kind of laid over that and did that because if you listen to the song, her part don't even match. I mean, it these are three different songs thrown together into one. I mean, Drake's rapping over the BBL Drizzy beat, and then she comes in with a whole different thing that don't got nothing to do. I mean, it just don't even sound like the same song. So that's just my ears. Y'all let me know what y'all think. But I'm pretty sure that's what went on. Again, and like I said, the irony of it is, you know, Kendrick said, you know, when I see you stand by Sexy Red, I believe you see two bad bitches. I believe you don't like women. It's real competition. You might pop ass with them. Then of course Drake goes and his first song back is gonna be with Sexy Red. Just, you know, adding salt to the wound, you know, just nailing it in. And I really think Drake is a rich slave with a rich baby dad. I mean, the moves he makes are so predictable. They're almost unbelievable because they're so predictable. You think somebody of this magnitude, of this stature would have some unpredictability about him, but nope. We sat on Twitter for a couple weeks and said Drake needs to rap over the BBL Drizzy beat, and that's what he does. People let him get away with that shit. I get it. He's the biggest artist in the world. He does what the fuck he wants. But I grade. I don't grade on a curve. Dog, step it up. Speaking of that, today is Tuesday, May 28th, And what's going on right now in the space is that Drake, Rory, another reference track has leaked of Drake's. This time it's from Mob Ties on his Scorpion double disc album that he released back in 2018. And so it has fans up in the uproar. Some Drake fans are saying, we don't care. Other people are being fake turned about it. I don't necessarily care. Listen, I don't believe the guy writes a lot of his shit anyway. I told y'all how I feel. And, one half, some people are saying, well, he writes for other people. He does this and all that. And other people are saying, no, this is crazy. I can't believe it's one of my favorite records off of Scorpion. I can't believe he didn't write it, blah, blah, blah. We know earlier this month, we got the Jumbotron leak, we got the Vori leak, and there was another leak. There's another record. Excuse me, there was another record that the reference track that leaked too. So, I mean, this is what that guy does. What I would say about it is, A, because some people are saying, well, you got Kanye and you got all these other people, but they made it clear that they weren't writing. Drake has doubled down on the fact that he writes. I mean, now he has embraced a little bit that he does. He has had reference tracks, but he still hasn't been too open about it. And what I would say to that is that a lot of people are missing the point to me is that this is the same guy that clowned Kendrick for taking 5 years and talked about he don't take 4 year breaks. Are y'all seeing what I'm seeing? It's very easy for you to not take these big breaks if you're not the one pumping out the material. If you are needing reference tracks, guys, I know a lot of hip hop artists, a lot of artists in different genres, they get reference tracks, they get writers and stuff like that. But if we're talking about from a creative standpoint, it takes time to marinate these ideas and flush these ideas out and then to execute them. Drake is none of the sort. I don't know how creative that guy is. I think he's a great actor. I think he's Aubrey Graham playing Drake. I've always told you guys that. I've always felt like that. And this just highlights my point. It just exacerbates it that I don't know how creative I don't know how he even gets any notches in a creative field. I don't know how people see him as this great artist. I see him as a great entertainer per se, but like artist creating, nah. And a lot of people are missing on Euphoria, Kendrick's bars about I want to see if Chubbs really crashed something. Yeah, my first one like my last one. It's a classic. You ain't have one. Let your core audience stomach that. Then tell them where you get your abs from. That was a double entendre, the abs part. Obviously, we know that he got work done. Pathetic. But the other part of that is his ad libs. Kendrick was highlighting the fact that your one classic album that a lot of people would say is your classic, Take Care, a lot of people say it's not yours. A lot of reference tracks. So Weekend had a big hand in that. So that was Kendrick's double entendre with that line. If you guys didn't catch that, your abs, tell them where you get your abs from, not just these abs, but we talking about all your abs. And if you look at this Vori track, Mob Ties, there's a lot of ad libs and it's the hook and it's the chorus. So it's like Drake, that's what we come to you for, and that's what your whole thing is the fact that you killing niggas on the hook stuff. That's what you said. But here you are, you know, needing one, using reference tracks on hooks and shit like that. And then, they got the clip of him on LeBron's The Shop, which was one of the most embarrassing moments of Drake's career. And LeBron, you're pretty pathetic. By the way, LeBron, please make a stance. Please make it known who you rock with. Why are you so silent about this beef all of a sudden? We've never heard LeBron this silent. It's just very interesting to me how LeBron could be so silent. Then he has the nerve to post on Snapchat "Gonna Wanna," a song on Gunna's new shit. But like, what about Drake and Kendrick? What about the biggest shit going on in music? Like, why are you not? It's just 21 Savage chose a side. Last night he performed in Toronto, brought Drake out and said what he had to say. Another foreigner. I could remember back in 2019. Didn't he get deported? Didn't he have something? Didn't something happen with 21 Savage? Is he potentially playing a character as well? So that's what I got to say for that, man. BBL Drizzy with BBL Kyle Lowry, BBL Drizzy with Sexy Red Sex Worker. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. His team needs to go back to the drawing board. I don't know what they're doing. They're running a campaign on Kendrick. They're trying to. They are kicking up dust. They are doing anything they can do to try to find an angle. They're trying to act like Drake's the victim all of a sudden. I don't know. They're talking about troll bots when Kendrick brought that up first. Now they're saying Kendrick and them is clearly using troll blocks because Drake's last few records got more dislikes than likes. Well, the records suck. The Hard Part 6 doesn't suck, but the angle sucks. And then that Sexy Red song absolutely does suck. I don't care if it goes on in a couple months and it's played in the club. Listen, everybody's on liquor, people's high on coke and different drugs and stuff like that. Lower frequency vibes, y'all have at it. I just was in the bar in the club a couple weeks ago. It's fun. I get it. We're drinking. All that shit's fun. But as far as a good record, it's not that. It's just not that. So moving on. Man, we got arrests coming down the pipeline. We got fucking presidents flying out of airplanes or crashing airplanes, or I don't know, however you want to turn it. But the Iranian president Ibrahim, it's been a couple weeks since I've been on here, but as you guys probably know, I'm a little bit behind. Uh, he dies along with some of members of his cabinet dies as well. And the plane went down a couple Sundays ago. It took a day or so. The reporting took a day or so for them to kind of confirm it. They did a search and rescue mission. They said that they did not recover anything, and so he's presumed dead. Um, but let me know what y'all think. Is that an accident? Is that just a crazy coincidence? They said it was weather related. And then there's some people out there with the tinfoil hats saying that, yeah, it was weather related, but some of that weather was very, very, very questionable. Very, very questionable as far as the clouds and the fog and stuff like that. And, if I'm not mistaken, that makes it two world leaders in 2024 that have now died in a helicopter. No, I'm not speaking of Kobe Bryant. Rest his soul. God rest his soul. Him and Gigi and the rest of the passengers. But y'all remember this happened in Russia. And what do they have in common? Hmm. They are not our allies. Let's just put it that way. So that's just very, very, very interesting to me that two helicopters and I don't know. It's very, very interesting. Very interesting how that can continue to happen, especially with these world leaders. The other helicopters were fine, or the people were fine. Just that helicopter. Pretty interesting. Maybe foul play, maybe not. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I smell some fire. I see smoke. That's all I'm gonna say about that. That's what I see when it comes to that. Speaking of world leaders and arrest, they're issuing a warrant for Bibi Netanyahu. Can we get a round of applause, please? Thank you. Bibi Netanyahu, man, watch your fucking back. It's like Banana Republic anymore, man. We got Donald Trump on trial. I think he's about to get indicted, uh, or they're coming down with the verdict this week. I think. So we could be potential. I don't think Donald Trump is going to go to jail nor be arrested. But just the fact that we're in a time where political prisoners, but political leaders are being arrested and stuff is just very, very, very off-putting. But the international law um, is issuing a warrant for Bibi Netanyahu, who is just continuously violating international law. Um, we got the airstrikes in the Rafah just this past couple days ago, and he's claiming that it was a total accident and they did not mean to do that. But like this is just beyond criminal. It's just beyond criminal. And at this point, the US is gonna have to decide. They're gonna have to put up or shut up. I mean, we say one thing, but then we are using our tax dollars and funding this war hungry, driven man who seems like he's on his last leg or he's like on a tour de force of cleansing this group. I mean, this isn't even a war. They don't have a military fighting back. They're bludgeoned into Rafah, where they were told to go. And not only have you guys been, or there's been rumors of the Hamas, whether it's Hamas or whether it's Israel, the IDF. But the humanitarian aid crisis is sickening. I mean, these people we're shipping, and France and other people are shipping off all this humanitarian aid, and it's not getting to the Palestinians. We got starving children over there, starving women over there, starving men over there. They cannot get the humanitarian aid that they need because every time it gets shipped over there, it's getting blown up. Now everybody's pointing the finger at who, but they need to figure something out. They need to figure something out. But not only do you have that, now you have airstrikes at the Rafah camp that kills like 46 people. I mean, what are y'all doing? It's so sickening. It's so clear to me what is going on. And for all of those who are history buffs on here better than me, I'm not really that much of a history buff. I know a little bit, but you know, in school we read about um, the Holocaust and these different things. And anytime you read history, you always say, how could they let that happen? What about the other countries? Like, we just couldn't understand how these things could happen. But here we are in 2024 witnessing potentially a genocide or ethnic cleansing. I mean, that's just what it is, guys. It's just what's going on. Um, they're using Hamas as a shield. They're using Hamas as a guide for what is really going on. There is no reason why children and women and children cannot get the humanitarian aid they need, and there's no reason why you're having mistakes with bombs hitting particular camps. Well, like, why didn't it hit next door? Like, there's just it just doesn't make sense to me. How is that an accident? I would love for you to walk me through and walk us through how that's such an accident. And even if it is an accident, you deserve to be held accountable for these things. So, Bibi Netanyahu. Again, I cannot believe political leaders, not just in our country, but just global leaders, are falling out of helicopters, being tried 34 indictments for Trump. Um, then, arrest warrants are being issued for global leaders, Bibi Netanyahu. I mean, like, what time is this? And speaking of that, then you got Taiwan and China. Can everybody just please, please, please pump their fucking brakes? This is the last little domino that no one wants to fall. We know China has plans of taking Taiwan back. This has been talked about for plenty of years, and we just need y'all to just please, please wait until the cake is done baking. Just wait. But China don't seem like they're waiting. They did a military drill, a practice drill, they called it. And they surrounded Taiwan with ships and live ammunition, live rounds, and they said it was just a military drill, and they were doing it as punishment. Now we know Taiwan has just introduced their new president. They just introduced them and stuff. So China is getting to be very, very aggressive, and this is the last thing that the United States needs, because this is the last domino to fall, and we would probably officially be in a world war. Because if China invades Taiwan, our hands and our allies' hands are going to be completely full. And we know China, Iran, and Russia are the axis of evil. And we could not have all these three things going on simultaneously, with Russia and Ukraine, Iran, Palestine, Israel, and then China and Taiwan. Listen, I'm 28. I ain't going to nobody's war. I'm gonna just tell y'all that right now on this channel. I ain't going to nobody's war. I ain't got time for it. So if China could just please, please, please be patient, we'll let y'all do what y'all need to do. But just give us a little bit of time to clean up some things. Somebody please go drop the net on Bibi Netanyahu. Go ahead, let's get him behind bars. Vladimir Putin is a scary man. I don't know. Y'all just need to let him do what he want to do with Ukraine. That's beating a dead horse over there. We done with Ukraine. That we had enough of that. Um, and so once we untie our hands with that, because we involved in some losing battles. I'm gonna just tell you that we involved in some losing battles, man. I'm gonna tell all my homies out there, go ahead, pick y'all up a final call. I got them, $3 a pop if y'all need them. We got charges of genocide and the war crimes in Gaza. I got a new issue that I'm gonna promote, but just stay up to date, man, on what's going on so y'all can see it better than I can. But yeah, that's what's going on in the world there in some geopolitics. We got presidents being arrested, people falling out of skies. It's just ridiculous. We got Terrence Howard and Joe Rogan. What an interview. I've had to watch it a couple times, and I really need to watch it in sections because there's so much to unpack there. So much to unpack there. What I gather from it is that I did not pay attention enough in chemistry. I thought I was pretty smart, but not so much. Terrence Howard put on a clinic, and I'm so dumb that I don't know if I'm dumb or if he is just very smart. He talks really good and he sounds really good. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about. I don't know what any of it means. I hope he can stop God from pressing the button. And I hope Terrence Howard has a plan for enacting some of the things he talked about. I think even Joe Rogan, who can keep up with the best of them, was a little bit befuddled there. I mean, there was a lot of awkward silences, and boy, I was on my couch eating my chips, and there was so many moments where I was just dumbfounded at what. And Joe's a goat at letting people go on and kind of explain themselves and flush out their full ideas. But there would be 2 or 3 minute runs where Terrence Howard would go on, and I'm still stuck on like his first couple of seconds trying to think what he was saying. Now I get a lot of it. Like I'm into like more of the flower of life and uh stuff like that. So I was kind of following along with that, but then he starts talking about Pythagorean theory and shit that I don't pay my bills with, and I'm just like, oh, hold on, like kind of losing me there. So I got to keep rewatching that interview and kind of flushing out again. But I thought that's to me it's an instant classic interview. And we'll see what comes about from it. I hope that Terrence Howard smacks Neil deGrasse Tyson. Because let me just tell y'all here on this channel, I hate Neil deGrasse Tyson. He is so fucking whack. He is so fucking whack. Ever since he did that fucking Logic album, I hated him. I mean, I hated him a little bit before that, but after he like narrated that Logic album, I think he was on that Logic album. I can't even remember. It came out in like 2017. Horrible, fucking horrible, absolutely god awful. And he had Neil deGrasse Tyson on there talking about Adam and Eve. It was so fucking whack, so surface level. I couldn't take it. There's no reason for somebody. He's a fake scientist. First off, that's all I'm gonna say. He's just whack. He's whack. Shout out to Billy Carson. Shout out to 19 Keys. Shout out to Wesley Muhammad. Shout out to the people out there that I'm tapped in with that really be putting it down. Neil deGrasse Tyson, you're so fucking Disney. It's ridiculous at this point. It's so fucking ridiculous. Um, Quick little fucking story, man. This weekend, I went to Columbus. It was Memorial Day weekend. I was tripping. Me and my homie. He he was just like, "Hey, bro, my girl's super drunk. It's her birthday weekend. Um, I ain't saying no names. She's super drunk. It's her birthday weekend. Um, let's go slide and go pick her up. Her friends ain't, her friends didn't do what the fuck they were supposed to do. So I'm like, all right, bet. So we riding out there. Man, we listening to some Pac on the highway. So we doing about 90 on the highway, and we get fucking pulled over by the state fucking troopers, right in between West Jefferson, Madison County, and they pull us over. I'm like, fuck, man. I ain't driving. My homie's actually driving. So I'm getting all the information. It's my car and shit. I'm getting all the information together. The cop comes up to the window, state trooper, white boy. You know what type of, he was all right. He wasn't awful, but, um, he cited us and shit, gave us a ticket and shit, asked why my seatbelt was off. I'm like, nigga, I'm digging in my motherfucking glove department trying to find my shit. Like, what do you mean? And anyways, long story short, when he comes back, he's like leaning over I'm in the passenger seat, and I give him my insurance and all that shit, but he's like leaning over the fucking passenger window with this clipboard. He hands me the ticket. I mean, he hands me everything and shit. And like he like walks away, and I look down and there's a fucking pill. There's a fucking like split half pill on my pants. And like my word is bond, like I don't dabble into no fucking pills. I ain't never, ever, ever even taken no fucking pill. I don't even take aspirin and fucking ibuprofen. So I'm like, I'm looking at it and I'm just staring at it and I'm like, I'm trying to process like where this pill came from. I'm like totally confused. Then I'm telling my homie like, hey, bro, like there's a fucking pill in my pants. Like I don't know if this man. Luckily, I thought at first I was like my anxiety. I'm like, man, he trying to plant, because tell y'all something. They do that a lot. They plant drugs on people a lot. I don't think that that's I don't think that that's a mystery. So at first that's where my brain went, but luckily homeboy got back into his car and he like sped off. Like he just like tried. He just was on some meathead shit. Like bald ass white cop. Probably got bullied his whole life, but he like sped off around us and shit. And at first I thought he was like trying to plant some shit on me, but long story short, he didn't. But I don't know if it was his pill. I don't know what the fuck. And it might have fell out his clipboard or something. But there was a fucking pill on me, man. I ain't even gonna tell y'all the rest of the fucking story. Y'all ain't even gonna believe the rest of the story. But yeah, weird ass shit, man. Don't trust these fucking cops. They weird. They weird. But also don't be speeding, man. I told my homie, man, that's what you get. Don't be speeding. And now I got a fucking ticket last week, a couple weeks ago, on some fried shit, man. Wasn't even my fault. Wasn't even my fault. I got court Tuesday and then now another ticket, man. And so I shouldn't have been popping out on Memorial's Day weekend like that anyway. Um, but yeah, just a lot of shit going on in the entertainment industry. More to come on P. Diddy. He got more lawsuits coming at him. Industry's gone down. Academics, watch your back. Um, Cassie's being, I mean, Cassie might be a part of the fucking. It's Nicki Minaj got arrested. There's a lot going on, but I ain't even trying to keep y'all here all day. So I'm gonna just end on that note. This is the rundown four. I'm coming at y'all again. Another point this week. We gonna really get into it when my computer's back up and I got my notes. I didn't get to get in great detail. I apologize about that, but I want to get this video to y'all as is, straight off the top. This is Lord of Lips here. This is the Rundown 4. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Peace.